So I typically do not adjust any of the sliders in the detail panel on a per photo basis. I normally leave them where they're at after I've applied my presets. The three settings that are most important are the sharpening amount, sharpening masking, and your luminance slider for noise reduction. You might find that different cameras will want different amounts of sharpening or need different amounts of noise reduction. So you want to fine-tune these settings for each camera you use more so than each individual photo you edit. So with the masking slider, you're going to tell Lightroom how fine of a detail do you want to sharpen. If we hold Alt while dragging the slider, we now have a black and white image. White is everywhere that sharpening is going to be applied, and black is where no sharpening will be applied. So you can see just to the right of center, where I typically like to keep it, we are not sharpening the sky, we're not sharpening the face of the house, where there's mostly no detail, just the paint strokes perhaps that we could sharpen if we were to go further and further left here. As we go further, we're just going to sharpen every little tiny bit of detail that Lightroom can find, each individual blade of grass, eventually to the point where every single pixel is being sharpened. We want to find a nice blend of medium and large details to sharpen so that we have a contrast between areas of the photo that are being sharpened and areas of the photo that are not being sharpened. If we were to go too far to the right, then only the boldest of details would be sharpened, such as the roof line of the house, the sides of the house where the sidewalk meets the grass, and we're going to be missing out on some detail that we actually do want. So we're going to want to be somewhere between maybe 60 and 70. So we're not sharpening the finest of details, it's sort of a nice mix of medium and large details that we're focusing on. Also, if we were to sharpen everything, then we're going to introduce more noise to the photo. Because now, if we zoom in on an area that doesn't need to be sharpened, we can see we have noise. The paint of this wall does not need to be sharpened. But if we don't have any masking applied, then we're sharpening everything. And the more sharpening you have, the more noise you get. So, one way to take care of noise is to have a healthy amount of masking. Now, if we did want to take care of this noise, we could do that by increasing the luminance slider and smooth out all of the detail there and not sharpen any of these pixels, and we're actually going to start blending them together to get rid of those white dots and that grain. But that's also going to make our entire image a little bit too soft, and we're going to lose some detail there. So typically I only like to apply maybe around 10 for noise reduction, unless something really jumps out at me and I do need to bump that up to get rid of some very obvious noise. Fortunately, in areas where we have lots of different colors and textures, those white dots are not going to jump out as much as they would if they were up against just a solid colored background. In grass and areas like this, they're just going to blend into the sea of other colors. If you want a complete guide to real estate photography, check out my online course. We'll start off with how to set up your camera to be able to get the best view through bright windows, and then go right into editing, covering topics like white balance, color changes, and more. You can click the link in the description of this video to see the course.